Jurors, you've heard a long and complex case. It is now your duty to sit down and try and separate facts from the fiction. Murder in the first degree, premeditated homicide, is the most serious charge tried in our criminal courts. A man is dead. The life of another is at stake. If there is a reasonable doubt in your minds as to the guilt of the accused, then you must declare him not guilty. If, however, there is no reasonable doubt, then he must be found guilty. Whichever way you decide, the verdict must be unanimous. I urge you to deliberate honestly and thoughtfully. You are faced with a grave responsibility. Thank you.
I'll tell you something. It's hot. I think they'd at least air condition the place. It's not dead in court.
6 days. Should have been done in 2. Talk. Give her so much talk about nothing.
Well, I guess they're entitled.
Everyone gets a fair trial. That's the system. Suppose you can't say anything against it.
Alright. Suppose we should start? Should we all take our seats?
Right, let's make this fast. I've got a ticket to see the 7-year itching act, and I swear I'm the only one on the planet who hasn't seen it yet. Okay, Your Honour. Start the show.
How about sitting down? Excuse me. How about sitting down?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mad, isn't it? Lad killed his father. Bing! Just like that. Well, I guess that's how it goes. Serves him right for letting the kids run wild.
Alright. We can do this any way you want to. I'm not going to make any rules. We can either discuss it first and then vote. That's one way. Or we can vote right now and see where we stand.
Let's vote now. Who knows? Maybe we can all go home. Yeah? Let's see who's what.
Right?
Let's vote now.
Alright. All those voting guilty, please raise your hands. 9, 10, 11. Okay, it's 11 for guilty. Not guilty? 1. Okay, now we know where we stand.
You think he's not guilty?
I don't know.
I never saw a guilty man in my life. He sat in court and heard the same thing I did. The man is a dangerous killer. You could see it.
He's 19 years old.
He's old enough. He knifed his own father. They proved it a dozen ways. You should list them.
No,
Do you believe his story?
I don't know whether I believe it or not. Maybe I don't.
So what do you vote not guilty for?
There were 11 votes for guilty. It's not so easy for me to raise my hand and send a boy down for life without talking about it first.
The guy's guilty. You couldn't change my mind even if you talked for 100 years.
I don't want to change your mind. I just want to talk about it for a while. The kid's been beaten his entire life. He's a tough, angry kid. Beaten by the social care system since before he could talk. I just think we owe him a few words, that's all.
Honestly, I don't think we owe anything. He got a fair trial, didn't he? We're all grown-ups here, and you're telling me I'm supposed to believe him, knowing who he is and where he's come from?
Since when is dishonesty a group characteristic? That's a very dangerous position to take.
Alright, there's no need for that.
Right?
If we're gonna discuss this case, let's discuss the facts.
That's a good point. We've got a job to do. Let's do it.
I may have an idea. I'm just thinking out loud now. But it seems to me that the majority have to convince the one remaining that we're right and they're wrong. So maybe if we each took a minute or two, you know, we may get an answer.
That's fair enough. Should we go around the table?
Let's do it then.
All right. So this is your first?
Oh, well, I just think he's guilty. I thought it was obvious. I mean, there's no evidence to prove otherwise.
No one had to prove otherwise. The burden of proof was on the prosecution.
Well, yeah. I know that's the rules, but like, what I meant was, well, anyway, I just think he's guilty.
Okay, let's get to the facts. Number 1, the old man that lived on the second floor apartment right underneath the room where the killing took place. At 12:10 on the night of the killing, he said he heard loud noises from the floor above which sounded like a fight. He said he heard the kid yell, "I'm gonna kill you," and a second later he heard the body fall. He ran to the door, looked outside, and 15 seconds after that he saw the kid running down the stairs and out of the house. Then he called the police. They found the father with the knife in his chest.
The coroner did say the time of death was around midnight.
Exactly. What more do you want?
What about the woman across the street? If her testimony doesn't prove it, then nothing does.
That's right. She saw the whole thing, didn't she?
Can we go in order, please?
Just a minute. So the woman across the street, she couldn't sleep, it's hot, and she lives right next to the train line. And she gets distracted by a passing train, and after it had passed, she was glancing out a window and she sees the boy stab his father. Knew that kid all of her life, and she swore she saw him do it.
Through 2 windows, right after a passing train at night, right?
Okay, but nothing in the way saying you can't see through 2 windows at night.
Okay, but how come you believed her? She's from the exact same background as him.
Take it easy.
It's all right. Calm down.
Yeah, calm down. Number 5. It's your turn.
I'll pass it.
That's your privilege. How about you?
I don't know. I started to be convinced, you know, with the testimonies from the people across the hall. Didn't they say something about an argument between the father and the boy around 7 o'clock that night? I mean, I could be wrong and it doesn't exactly prove anything, but it's part of the picture.
Anything else?
No.
All right. How about you?
I don't know. Most of it's been said already. Look, we can sit around a table and talk all day, but I think we're wasting our time. Look at the kid's history. He stole the car. He's been arrested for mugging. With a knife, may I add. I mean, it all adds up.
Ever since he was 5 years old, his father beats him up regularly.
So would I with a kid like that.
You're right. It's the kids. They don't listen.
We're missing the point here. This boy, the product of a filthy estate and a broken home. It happens in places like that. We can't help it. I know it, so do you. These kids are potential menaces to society.
You said it, I don't want to be any part of it, believe me.
I came from a place just like that.
Oh, wait a second.
I used to play in a backyard that was filled with rubbish. Maybe it still smells on me.
Right, there's nothing personal here. Let's be
There is.
reasonable.
There is something personal. Come on. She didn't mean you. Let's not get so sensitive.
I can't understand this sensitivity.
We're wasting time. It's your turn.
Alright. I had a peculiar feeling about this trial. Somehow I felt that the defence never really conducted a thorough cross-examination. I mean, he was appointed by the court to defend the boy, but he just hardly seemed interested. There's just too many questions were left unasked.
Well, what about the ones that were asked? You know, for example, the knife. The one that fine, upright kid admitted to buying.
Alright, well, let's talk about it. Let's get it in here and we'll talk about it. I'd like to see it again, Mrs. Foreman.
You all already know what it looks like. Don't see why we have to look at it again. What do you think?
I have a right to see exhibits and evidence.
Okay, fine by me.
That knife is a pretty strong piece of evidence, don't you think?
I do.
The boy admits to leaving the house at 8 o'clock after being slapped by his father.
Or punched.
Or punched! That boy went to the nearest store and bought the knife. The shopkeeper admitted selling it to him. It's a pretty unusual knife. Only one of its kind the shopkeeper had in stock, he says. Why did the boy buy the knife? A present for his friend, he says. Am I right so far?
Right.
You bet that's right. Listen to the facts. It's all there.
The boy claims the knife fell out of his coat pocket and he never saw it again. You know what actually happened? The boy took the knife, stabbed his father with it, and even remembered to wipe off the fingerprints. Everyone has linked that knife to that boy. Do you really expect me to believe that a random person picked it up off the floor, went to that exact house, and stabbed the father of the boy who claims to have lost it anywhere between the shop and his house?
I don't want you to accept anything. I'm just saying that it's possible that the kid did lose the knife and someone stabbed his father with a similar knife.
Take a look at that knife. It's a pretty unusual knife. I've never seen one similar to it in my life. Are you expecting us to believe a pretty unusual coincidence?
I don't want you to accept anything. I'm just saying it's possible.
And we're saying it's not possible. He lied, and you know it.
He may have lied. Do you think he lied?
That's a stupid question. Of course he lied.
Do you think he lied?
I don't know.
Wait a second, who are you, the guy's lawyer? Listen, there's 11 of us in here who think he's guilty. You're alone. What do you think you're going to achieve? We're going to end up here all night.
It's only one night, but that kid's life is on the line here.
Whose
Oh,
fault
no,
is
just a
that?
One
second.
night! Enough! We're wasting time. One at a time, please.
Well, what have you got to say about it? You're the one that's holding up the show.
I've got a proposition to make. I want all 11 of you to vote anonymously. I'll abstain. If there are still 11 votes for guilty, I won't stand alone. And we'll go in there and we'll take in a guilty verdict right now.
Okay, let's do it.
Everyone agreed? All right. Grab a bit of paper. I'll take the knife back to evidence. Guilty. 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 Not guilty. Guilty.
Oh, for God's sake!
Who was it? I think we have a right to know.
Excuse me. This was anonymous. We agreed on that, no? Perhaps, if they would like to keep it secret, then...
What do you mean? There are no secrets in here. I know who it was. What is the matter with you? You vote guilty and then this. slick prick starts to tear your heart with stories about a poor little boy who just couldn't help becoming a murderer, and you change your vote.
Right, hold on.
Hold on! We're trying to send a guilty man down for life, which he deserves, and all of a sudden we're listening to fairy tales.
Please. I would like to say something here. I have been listening very carefully, as all of you speak. And I know that people have the right to have unpopular opinions in this country. That is the reason why I came here. I wanted to have the right to disagree. In my own country. I'm ashamed to say that.
What are we supposed to do now? Listen to stories about your country?
Yeah, let's stick to the subject. Honestly, what made you change your vote?
She can't tell you that. She didn't change her vote. I did. Maybe you'd like to know why?
No, we wouldn't like to know why.
Let them talk. Thank you. This person chose to stand alone against us. That's their right. But it takes a great deal of courage to stand alone, even if you believe in something very strongly. They gambled for support and I chose to give it to them. And I want to hear more. The vote is 10-2.
That's fine, and when you kindly finish your speech, let's continue.
Look, about that, I didn't mean to get nasty, you know how it is. It was nothing personal.
Answer me one thing. If the kid didn't kill him, who did?
As far as I understand it, we're here to decide whether the boy on trial is guilty or not. We're not concerned about anyone else here.
Guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. That's an important thing to remember. Everyone's a lawyer, am I right? Okay then. What's your reasonable doubt?
So far, it's just a feeling I have. A feeling perhaps you won't understand.
A feeling? What are we supposed to do? Sit here for the next few hours talking about your feelings? What about the facts?
Okay. It's okay. Look. The old man heard the boy say, "I'm gonna kill you." And he heard the body fall a second later. And 15 seconds after that, when he was at the door, he saw the boy run out of the house.
That's right. Let's not forget about the woman across the street. She looked through the window, saw a train go past, and right after, clear as day, saw the boy stab his father. She saw it. Now that's not enough for
It's
you.
not enough for me.
Lend me a pencil. Your turn. May as well pass the time. Problem?
This isn't a game.
Do you think you are?
Alright, let's take it easy.
Someone better keep that prick away
Right.
from me.
I don't want any fights in here.
How about sitting down?
Take a look at that. How long would it take for a train going at top speed to pass a given point?
What has that got to do with anything?
Just how long? Take a guess.
No fucking clue.
Okay. What do you think?
Pass completely. 10, 12 seconds maybe? Yeah, about 10 seconds perhaps.
Alright, let's say 10 seconds. What are you getting at?
A train passes at a given point in 10 seconds. The given point being the bedroom in which the killing took place. You can almost reach out of the window and touch the train. It's that close, right? Now let me ask you this. How many of us here have lived next to train tracks? When the train goes by, the noise is almost unbearable.
Yeah, you can't hear yourself think. Will you get to the point?
The old man said that he heard the boy cry, "I'm going to kill you." 1 second after he heard the body fall. 1 second. That's the evidence, right?
Right.
The woman said that she looked through her window and saw the body fall after the train has passed, right?
What are you giving us here?
A train passes a given point in 10 seconds. You agreed that. The noise is almost unbearable. You agreed that too. You can't hear yourself think. If the body was to fall right after the train had passed, then the old man would have had to have heard the boy cry, "I'm going to kill you," whilst the end of the train is still going past. I'm saying that the old man could not have heard what he claims to have heard.
What do you mean? Sure, he could have heard it.
You all agreed. You can't hear yourself think. You said that.
And he said the boy yelled it out. That's enough for me.
I don't think he could have heard it.
Maybe he didn't hear it. I mean, with the train noises.
You're crazy. Why would he lie? What's he got to gain?
Tension, maybe.
Here we go.
Why would he have lied? You have a right to talk.
He had 2 canes. Did you notice that? He was a very old man with a cane in each hand. This is a quiet, insignificant man who finds just the simple act of walking to be a difficult task. This is a man who's been nothing all his life. Nobody knows him after 75 years. That's a very sad thing. A man like this feels the need to be recognised. So to be listened to and questioned and quoted just once would be important to him.
And you're trying to tell us he lied about a thing like this just so he could feel important?
No, he wouldn't really lie, but perhaps he'd make himself believe he heard those things or recognised the boy's face.
That's the most fantastic story I've ever heard. Why would you do that? And what do you know about it?
Speak from experience.
All right. Is there anything else? Can we get on with it?
There is something else I would like to point out here. I think that we've proved that the old man could not have heard the boy say, "I'm going to kill you." But supposing that he did hear it, this phrase, how many of us have used it and how many times? Probably hundreds. We say it all the time, every day. But that doesn't actually mean we're going to kill someone.
Wait a minute. The kid screamed it at the top of his lungs. Don't you try and tell me you didn't mean it.
Absolutely, he meant it.
All right, well, let me ask you this. If he did want to kill him, do you really think that he would shout out to the entire street that he's going to kill him? I don't think so. He's much too bright for that.
Bright? This isn't Einstein. He's a common council estate scrub. He don't even speak good English.
He doesn't even speak good English.
I'd like to change my vote to not guilty. Then the vote is 9 to 3 in favour of guilty.
What are you basing it on? Stories this man's made up. The kid had a lawyer, didn't he? Why didn't the lawyer bring up all these points?
Lawyers can't think of everything.
Oh, give me strength. You sit in here and pull stories. What out of thin air. The man didn't get out of bed. What, run to the door and then see what he saw? He only said he did what? To be important.
Run to the door. At his age. I don't think we can believe that either. He'd have needed to get there in seconds. Do we have diagrams of the building?
I want to see this one too.
I honestly can't believe what I'm experiencing. The hell are we doing here?
We're going to discuss whether the man can get there in 15 seconds on 2 canes. Or in 15 seconds. May I?
Do me a favour. Wake me up when this is over.
Right. This is the apartment. The old man's flat is directly beneath it and exactly the same. Here's the bedroom. Here's another bedroom. Here's the living room, the bathroom, the kitchen, and here's the hallway. And then here is the front door to the apartment. And this is the steps. The old man said that he came out to his front door, to his bedroom door, all the way down to his hallway to open the front door just in time to see the boy coming down these steps. Is that right?
That's the story.
He'd have had to, all in 15 seconds.
Correct.
He'd have had to get up, grab his canes, walk 12 feet to his door, open his door, cross the entire flat to his hallway to then get to his front door. All in 15 seconds. Do we think that's possible?
You know it's possible.
He can only walk very slowly.
You dragged that out. You made it sound like a long walk. It's not.
For an old man with canes, it's a long walk.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to time how long it took him. I'm trying to pace out the length of his room.
Crazy. You can't replicate something like that.
Perhaps if we could see this. It is an important point.
It's a ridiculous waste of time. Let's do it.
Right. Here's the bedroom door. Now, how far do we think it would take to get from here to the door?
I'd say about 20 feet.
Just about.
All right, that's close enough. So from here to here and back seems about right.
Well, this is absolutely insane.
Do you mind if we try it? Because according to you, it's only going to take 15 seconds. We can spare that. Does anyone have a watch on?
I have.
When you want me to start, stamp your foot. That'll be the body falling, and just time me from there. Let's say he keeps his canes at his bedside, right?
Right.
Okay, I'm ready.
Speed it up, he walked twice as fast as that.
I think this is just as quickly as the man walked in the courtroom.
If you want me to speed up, I will. Stop. What's the time?
15, 20, 30, 31 seconds exactly.
31 seconds.
It's my guess that he tried to get to the front door, heard someone on the steps, and assumed the rest.
I think that's possible.
Assume? You listen to me. I've seen all kinds of dishonesty in my day, but this little display completely takes the piss. You may have these idiots fooled, but I'm sick of it. What is the matter with you? That lad is guilty. He should rot in a cell for the rest of his life, and we are letting him slip through our fingers.
Through our fingers. Sounds like you personally want to lock him up with yourself. Throw away the key.
Damn right I would.
I feel sorry for you.
Don't you start with me.
Making yourself feel important by carelessly ruining other people's lives to make yourself feel better.
Shut up.
You personally want him to rot, not because of the facts.
Shut up! Ugh. Let me go! I'll kill you! I'll kill you!
You say those words, but do you really mean them?
What you're looking at!
I don't see why we have to behave like children here.
Nor do I. We have a responsibility. That is the remarkable thing about democracy. That we are, what is the word? Notified. That we are notified by the mail to come down to this place and decide on the innocence or guilt of a man we have not known before. We have nothing to gain or lose by our verdict. That is why we are strong. We should not make it a personal thing.
Still nowhere. He's got an idea.
Well, I think we should take a vote. Mrs. Foreman?
I want an open ballot. I want to know who stands where.
Sounds fair. Anyone object? Alright. I'll call off your jury numbers. I vote guilty. Number 2.
Not guilty.
Number 3.
Guilty.
Number 4.
Guilty.
Number 5.
Not guilty.
Number 6.
Not guilty.
Number 7.
Guilty.
Number 8.
Not guilty.
Number 9.
Not guilty.
Number 10.
Guilty.
Number 11.
Not guilty.
And number 12.
Guilty.
6 to 6.
I tell you what, the crime is being committed right in
The
this room.
vote is 6 to 6.
I'm ready to walk into court right now and declare a hung jury. There's no point in this going on any longer.
Yeah, I go for that too. Let's take him to the judge and let the kid have his chance with 12 other guys.
Hold on, you don't still think there's room for reasonable doubt?
No, I don't.
Excuse me. Perhaps you don't understand the term reasonable doubt.
What do you mean I don't understand it? Well, at least I was born here. You come over here running for your life and you tell me I don't understand my own language. The arrogance in you.
Hold on, you can quit it saying things like that.
Please, I am used to this. It's alright, thank you.
It's not alright.
Okay, I apologise. Is that what you want?
That's what. Right, enough with the arguing. Who's got something constructive to say?
Listen, I'll tell you something. I'm a little sick of this whole thing. We're getting nowhere. Let's break it up and go home. I'm changing my vote to not guilty. I've had enough.
What do you mean you've had enough?
You have sat here and voted guilty with everyone else because there are some theatre tickets burning a hole through your pocket. And now you have changed your vote for the exact same reason. I don't think I have the right to play with a man's life like this.
You can't talk like that to me.
I can talk to you like that. If you want to vote not guilty, do it because you're convinced he's not guilty. If you want to vote guilty, then vote that way. Or don't you have the guts to do the right thing?
Now listen.
Is it guilty or not guilty?
I told you not guilty.
Why?
I don't have to
say it. Why?
I don't think he's guilty.
I want another vote.
Guess quick way to show of hands. Anyone object? All right. All those voting not guilty, please raise your hands. Nine. Guilty? 3. Vote is 9-3 in favour of not guilty.
How can you believe that kid is innocent? I mean, you know where those people come from, and it's like, they don't even need a big reason to kill either. They just get drunk and find someone's lying in the gutter. That's how they are. Violent. Much so, human life doesn't even mean that much to them. It's like, someone gets killed, they get killed. That's it. It's fine. What are you all doing? I'm speaking my piece. That kid on trial is nothing but, what are you all doing? I'm trying to speak to you.
I've had enough. You do not open your mouth with that prejudice again. Do you understand?
I'm only trying to tell you.
All right. Sit down, everyone. I still believe the boy is guilty. I'll tell you why. For me, the strongest evidence is the woman across the street who claims she actually saw the boy kill his father.
Right, let's go over her testimony. What exactly did she say?
At 11 o'clock, she went to bed. Her bed was by the open window. From her bed, lying down, she could see directly opposite into the window across the street. At 12:10, she'd rolled over and looked out the window and says she saw the boy kill his father. I think this is unshakable testimony.
Agreed. That's the whole case.
Frankly, I don't see how you can vote not guilty. What do you think?
Well, maybe there's so much evidence to say.
What do you mean maybe? She's absolutely right.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, this might be a dumb thought, but do you guys all wear your glasses to bed?
Of course not. No one wears their glasses to bed.
I was just thinking, you know the woman that testified that she saw the killings wears glasses?
So, my grandmother wears glasses.
Your grandmother's not a murder witness.
Stop me if I'm wrong. She wouldn't wear her glasses to bed, would she?
Did she even wear glasses? Can't remember.
Of course she did. I can picture it now. They looked quite strong.
That's right. Strong. She never took them off.
So she never wore them to bed, that's for sure. She testified that she rolled over casually, looked out the window, saw the murder taking place, and a split second later the lights go out. That's not enough time to put your glasses on. Maybe she genuinely saw the boy kill his father. I say she only saw a blur.
How do you know what she saw? Maybe she's far-sighted.
Does anybody believe that there's still no reasonable doubt?
I think he's guilty.
Does anyone else?
No. I'm convinced.
You're alone.
I don't care if I'm alone. I'm entitled to my opinion. What's the matter with you? You can't give up now. You've had to let a murderer walk free.
I'm sorry. I believe there's a reasonable doubt.
It's going to be a hung jury. I am entitled to my opinion.
There's nothing anyone can do about that except hope that in a few months' time you actually get some sleep.
You're all alone.
Takes a great deal of courage to stand alone.
All right.